This is Sigmund Bloom coming at you with the Week 11 waiver wire quick hitter quarterback. The top of the heap in short bench leagues, Daniel Jones has a great matchup this week against Detroit. Jimmy Garoppollo is in a run-first offense, but still is going to account for a high floor 15 to 18-point play against Arizona. And Jared Goff is also a safe play this week on the other side of that Giants Detroit matchup. In more typical leagues, if you're looking for someone to cover Tom Brady or Geno Smith or Tua Tagovailoa, you might have to look for Marcus Mariota in a good matchup against a Chicago defense that has been giving up some points lately. Matt Ryan in a tough matchup against Philadelphia, but we can see he's got the offense going. Going a little deeper, Davis Mills at least has been putting up some decent points, having to throw a lot going up against Washington. Kenny Pickett running, gaining some yards, a touchdown, and a balanced defense effort in a win for the Steelers. Ryan Tannehill hooking up with Nick Westbrook-Ikhine, going up Thursday night to Green Bay in Lambeau. And then Zach Wilson coming out of the bye, going up against New England. Had a pretty good game in a catch-up mode game against them just a few weeks ago. In Superflex 2-quarterback leagues, we're going to watch that situation with the New England quarterback. It is going to be Mac Jones, but you want to add Bailey Zappe too if you can, because he's outplayed Mac Jones, and we'll see if we see Zappe before the end of the season. Baker Mayfield is going to start. Colt McCoy may start, although he emerged with his own knee injury. Kyler Murray nursing a hamstring injury. Jameis Winston might start. Andy Dalton might start. We'll see. Your New Orleans quarterback going up against the Rams this week. Speaking of the Rams, John Wolford, we'll see if he gets a start against the Saints, with Matthew Stafford trying to get out of concussion protocol. They're running back, your two biggest pickups here. Elijah Mitchell, who's in a committee with Christian McCaffrey. That was a surprise. Mitchell was a flex play. If McCaffrey gets hurt, he's going to be more than that. Rachaad White, we saw him close out the game very well. Maybe coming out of the bye in Week 12, we could see Tampa with a more full-blown committee, although it sounds like Leonard Fournette's going to be okay from that hip pointer and be ready to play in Week 12. Going down the list, Isiah Pacheco would be in the next tier. 16 carries. They stuck with him through a fumble. Kansas City may run the ball against the weak Chargers run defense. Gus Edwards has a good chance to play this week. He should have the first in line for goal line carries. Baltimore against Carolina. Dontrell, Hilliard. Now we get to the backups. It's time. It's Week 11. It's time to make sure you have a lot of backup running backs on your bench. Dontrell, Hilliard, Alexander Mattison, Samaje Perine, Jaylen Warren. Cannot overtake Najee Harris. Pretty good. And then maybe more of a depth play, Jerick McKinnon. Got a higher floor than those guys in any given week, although he might not gain that much value if Pacheco goes down. Notice, not talking about Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and also a deep pickup, Kyren Williams, in about a quarter of the plays, 3 catches for 30 yards. Rams offense isn't exactly producing winners for fantasy, but in deep leagues, you want to be thorough there. Wide receiver, the two biggest pickups, Kadarius Toney with Juju Smith-Schuster leaving with concussion. Mecole Hardman missed the game. Toney looked like the kind of player that, well, it's hard to put the genie back in the bottle, seeing what he did after the catch. We'll see. You don't want to let any dollars sit in your wallet if he's out there. Or Christian Watson, 3 touchdowns, over 100 yards. Aaron Rodgers, the Packers season back to life. We'll see if it persists, but certainly that kind of game takes notice. Next tier, Paris Campbell with Matt Ryan back, a great 35-yard catch and run touchdown, and he's going to really arrive for fantasy this year. We noticed it with Sam Ehlinger interrupting it. We didn't think it was going to stick. Nico Collins, 10 targets, a touchdown, probably the number 1 receiver going forward for the Texans. Donovan Peoples-Jones, the number 2 receiver, but when Amari Cooper's covered by a good number 1 corner, he won't be this week. Tre'Davious White won't be back. Peoples-Jones becomes an even better play. He's been very consistent. Remember, Deshaun Watson's coming back soon. Next tier at wide receiver, looking at Julio Jones, going into a bye, but we're seeing him healthy. 30-plus snaps, a touchdown 2 out of the last 3 games. He's coming on. Trent Sherfield was actually the leading wide receiver in PPR leagues for the Dolphins this week, and we'll see him as at least a desperation play who could come through for us if Tyreek Hill or Jalen Waddle go down. Watch out. Sherfield knows that system very well. 1% plays you might want to pick up. 1 unit, Nick Westbrook-Ikhine, see if his momentum can carry over against Green Bay. Marquez Valdes-Scantling. Juju Smith-Schuster can't go. Valdes-Scantling had a touchdown. I think he led the Chiefs wide receivers in snaps. So if you need a desperation play this week, Valdes-Scantling could come through. A tight end, if he's still out there, Cole Kmet would be the top pickup. Maybe not as high priority as guys like Kadarius Toney or Elijah Mitchell this week. We'll see. The Lions defense forgot about him on one play, but otherwise you do see Justin Fields looking for him when they get down to the red zone. Tyler Higbee, the struggle target Rams offense is going to struggle. Cooper Kupp is going to miss some time probably. Tyler Higbee all of a sudden back in the box score. Hayden Hurst back from a bye. A safe high floor play. Foster Moreau with Darren Waller on IR. A safe high floor play. Almost had 2 touchdowns. Almost had the game-winning touchdown yesterday. Looks like Mark Andrews going to be back, but check the practice report. If he's not, Isiah likely could work out as a 1-week play for you. And Trey McBride with Zach Ertz out for the year. McBride, maybe the next rookie tight end to come through in fantasy leagues. We want to come through for you, football guys, because you're the best. You're so classy.